watching Morning at NTV.
Good morning to you once again. I am Priscilla Regina Naloga. Thank you so much for having stayed with us, and I trust that the two pundits have been able to help you make understanding and sense of the regional politics that is at play. Now, it's a time where we take note of what is happening on the national level, especially when it comes to education and the curriculums that are being rolled out left, right, and center. What's the future of our education system if we were to have new curriculums coming through? So there's a big question we want to address this morning: the new curriculum and what it's seeking to address. The National Curriculum Development Center has launched a new curriculum for A-level following the restructure of the O-level a few weeks ago heretofore. This comes at a cusp of a Golden Jubilee celebration for the NCDC, and to help us understand this revamping of curricula, we're going to be having the National Curriculum Development Center representative talking to us in detail of what hopes and futures and plans and readjustments they have as far as the education system is concerned, and why the focal point presently is on secondary level education. But before we do that, Joyce Nakato did give us a clearer picture, and so we want to take it from Joyce Nakato's news story that she did. Take a look.
It is essential to ensure that what learners are studying falls in line with the country's development agenda.
Effective curriculum implementation guarantees that Uganda continues to nurture and prepare her citizens to become dependable, skilled and knowledgeable human resources who will survive in the increasingly competitive global market.
The NCDC has been carrying out reviews of curricula at the different levels of learning, starting with pre-primary, primary, secondary, and tertiary institutions. Following the rollout of the lower-level secondary curriculum in 2020, the center has now started reviewing the A-level curriculum, and some of the proposed changes include that A-level learners will study 2 career subjects that are essential to their admission to university, learners to have the liberty of sitting 1 unit paper in the subjects that they offer per year or all at once as it stands right now, A-level to be studied for a minimum of 2 years and a maximum of 5 years, with the 5 years mainly intended to cater for learners who will choose to sit for 1 final paper per year.
If you feel you are not ready, I'm not ready to do the physics, the biology, the mathematics in 1 year. I study and do 1 subject, and then I come back and do the other subject, and then another subject may be in the 3rd year, and my results are put in 1 transcript, and then I proceed.
A candidate who fails to achieve the maximum points to get university admission will only repeat the subject paper he or she failed. Learners will study 1 occupational subject, which will be assessed by the Directorate of Industrial Training, a contemporary studies paper to be introduced to replace general paper, and learners will also be continuously assessed, with this assessment contributing 20% to their final exam score.
This curriculum should be ready. To be implemented in 2025.
Some subjects have also been proposed, which include accounting, physical education, sign language, and ICT. In spite of the challenges that have been experienced in rolling out the O-level curriculum, the National Curriculum Development Center Director Grace Baguma points out that the reviews of all curricula has to continue.
So the change management programs, strategy that we had, we knew that we would have that. That is why we are going great ways.
The preparation for the rollout of the new curriculum comes at a time when the NCDC is preparing to celebrate 50 years of existence. As part of activities to mark this milestone, the center has organized an international curriculum development conference to be held on the 26th to the 27th of April at Speak Resort Munyonyo.
The conference will help the country to promote curriculum research and development, both nationally and globally.
Joyce Nakato, NTV Weekend Edition.
Joyce Nakato, and this conversation, trusting me, opens up a can of worms. Of course, we've heard from Dr. Grace Bagoma, who's the director with the National Curriculum Development Center. We've also heard from Mr. John Emorut Okumu, who is the manager still at the center. But this morning, we host the curriculum specialist at the National Curriculum Development Center, and that is none other than Mr. Christopher Muganga. Good morning to you, Mr. Muganga.
Good morning. How are you, madam?
Well, I'm trying to make sense of these new developments and how they are going to affect the future of education right now, because we have a certain tradition that we've been accustomed to as far as education is concerned. So if a parent, has gone through a different course of education, and now my child may be subjected to a different course of education, you can do the mathematics for me when it comes to holiday homework, holiday work, and they're asking me things I have no idea about because I never went to the same system. And yesterday I was somewhere at a book launch which was dubbed Graduation, the Traditional Dream, and someone made a statement and said that if we have had an education system that has been carried on for over 60 years here in the country, then how do we expect more change to come through if it's taken us over 60 years to just make the small changes that we currently see in the O-level curriculum that was adjusted most recently? So it's at that backbone of confusion, Mr. Muganga, that I come to ask, to seek understanding of this new curriculum suggestion and its details. Yes.
So I think Ugandans, good morning, and everybody viewing us. You have to appreciate our political history, where we have been, where we come from. We lost almost 30 years of development due to our political turmoils. That means the other countries we are moving, for us we are stuck. Now we are almost 40 years of stability, the world has opened for us, and we are seeing now new things coming on board. And education is also trying to open up, looking at the new areas that are coming on board. Previously, all of us went through education eyeing only one university, Makerere University, and whatever was being offered at Makerere University was the only package people were working for. But currently we are having more than 30 universities, and even that is only in Uganda, but elsewhere outside Uganda, people are going to do what it takes for them to be there, not what they have learned to be in Uganda. So the country has to open up because the world became a village, a global village. And when we are training these people, we don't know where they are going. Our work is to prepare them to prevail over the situations as they go to where they are going. So the old system of curtailing people to only wear the size of what you have has gone away. So we have to make sure that now people must also look at the new world order. What does it take in education, and what the new ideas are on the border, and what is being bought as services of your education. So Uganda is a bit smaller and narrower in terms of employment. That's why whoever graduates has that thinking that he must be employed. Nobody has ever thought of employing himself or creating employment. So that education has curtailed much of our thinking, and even our education system has been received. That's why even outside our education, when you go to the social arenas, you hear people talking about being given, government help to Yambe. So nobody is there to think of what are you going to make use of your education. Now the new A-level is coming to also look at the new ways of helping these younger graduates to be in their own world, not in the world of the past.
Oh, right. Oh, okay, that makes sense. Just to interrogate it in detail, the review says that learners can sit one unit paper in the subjects that they offer per year, or all done at once. Of course, this is in the backbone of the consideration that you stretch the years of A-level from the 2 years to 5 years. And therefore, a student has the option of either completing in the 2 years or within the 5 years. Now this gives them the option of studying one subject at a time, or sitting for one subject at a time?
No. This is being flexible. When you say education for all, what does it mean? Why do you put roadblocks and what to people to go wherever they are going? So we're trying to be a bit flexible to say we are not at the same range of seeing things. Some people are fast runners, others are normal, others are time takers. And we say, what do we do with the people who are having challenges to get it the first time? It means that when you fail, for example, this time, you have to repeat the whole program either for the 2 years or for another year. So we're trying to look at where they are going at the universities and higher learning institutions. They're in a semester program, and you can do a retake. So it doesn't mean that because you haven't had it the first time, the word has ended. We say you still have another chance, maybe 1 or 2 years, so that you repeat only what you have failed. And this is only a proposal.
Yeah.
It has not been concretized.
Yeah.
So we are saying, why don't we be flexible so that we bring as many people as possible to make the human resource a bit richer, rather than taking only those who can do it only the first time. So let learners have a chance of retake, because even where they are going, they will find the same system, that you can be a second year or a third year, but you still have to retake some of the papers which you failed. But at the end of the final year, when you are finishing, your certificate will show that you did this in parts.
Okay, so it will be broken down.
Yes.
Okay, that's interesting. Failure to achieve the maximum points for university admission, to repeat only one subject paper, something you've touched about. Learners will study one occupational subject to be assessed by DIT.
Yeah, that one is also another way of thinking outside the box, saying that we are not living on only what we studied.
Before you go any further, what are the occupational subjects that are being referred to here?
At first, we have those we call vocational subjects. So these subjects are being grouped. We have the sciences and the mathematics, we have the humanities, we have the vocationals, fine art, music, foods and nutrition. Those are subjects which are by practical, doing by practice, or learning by practice. So that is the first stage to say DIT is ready for with those type of assessments, but as the demand calls, they will also develop more others, because our bigger picture is that every subject which is on the menu should have an occupational subject. Taking, whereby if you are taking English language or literature, for what use are you, apart from being a vehicle of learning? Maybe you are an editor, maybe you are an interpreter. There should be something you're going to at least sell as a service for you to survive. So we are saying those first 8 which are ready with the DIT, let these learners at the senior 5 have a chance of sitting level 2, because with the all levels they are sitting level 1. Now because DIT is having another pathway that you can go through all levels up to level 5 or level 7, and you are the equivalent of maybe a master's degree. But when you haven't gone into the side of the what we call the normal of schooling to go to the universities, but you can have upgrading through practice, and then people come and look at what you are doing, and it is what the society wants, because we are paid to solve problems. Okay. The moment you don't have any problem you are solving, you are poor.
Okay. And then we do have the new proposed subjects that have also been mentioned, and then I wonder under what category they fall. If you're having the occupational, when do we then, and where do we place the accounting, the physical education, the ICT, the sign language?
Apart from sign language, the rest are all vocationals. They are under vocational bracket. And we are looking at these new subjects by matter of saying, what if this learner is not going to the university? Because, or some other things crop in the course of learning.
Yeah.
How can you at least help this learner to survive? Because he's no longer a child, and he's not another, he's in between. But he has to survive. Let them be doing something at least which is offered at a standard level. People must have a standard of doing things, so that when you go to seek for employment, or when you're doing something on your own, it must be meeting a certain standard on the market. So in Uganda, we've been having a challenge of doing things which are not on standard. That's why Ugandan products are normally not cherished by we Ugandans, because we know that they are not meeting a certain standard. Now we are having a chance of standardizing our services, our products. Can you sell to the market and it meets the standard? Can you have an occupation? And for an addition, people who have done so well in their own other courses, you can be a medical doctor, you can be a plumber, but you have another vocation. You are doing it maybe as a part-time job or something which can also be taking your time after
complementary, because if you mentioned a doctor, they don't really have to be in the operation room
all the time in the hospitals.
They can become administrators or take on other levels of opportunities through the health sector. Okay, there was another one that was very interesting. We did general paper and general knowledge, but now there's a proposal that be put away and replaced with contemporary studies.
Yes.
Paper. What is a contemporary studies?
We are looking at things which are happening in the world and which help the people to know that we are no longer a small cocoon of a Ugandan, but you have to live with others, because there is that global issue of which you have to be part of a citizen of this new era, which we call the contemporary world. So people must be knowing what is happening elsewhere, and the things which are normally touching the world, the country, the society where you live, and which makes a difference, rather than doing general paper in abstract and you are just writing for academic issues only. Now we are looking to say, why don't we now upgrade? Instead of having a subsidiary paper where the best gets only 1 point, and we say, let us now make it maybe a principal subject, so that we bring all these contemporary issues, ICT, now we have these new things coming on board of technology and everything. Let the learners now be in their own world. This is a digital era, and for them they are having a 21st century graduate profile, which is different from ours we had. So let those things be, because they are not subjects, you can't find them in subjects, but if they are there, they are just being used as a vehicle. But now this person now comes in here to look at them in detail.
All right, so there's people who are wondering, does this actually do away with the Canadian priests?
Oh, of course.
And all these history lessons that are not contemporary, honestly. Because
now with the curriculum, we have only majorly three things we tackle. There is what to learn, which we normally call content in context. Then after that, we say, how should we learn it, which is the pedagogy, which is now also going to change the methods of. So this teacher knows it all. You all come and you face the teacher and he writes on the blackboard. That's now the old method of learning, which we are trying now to do away with. And we're having the third one, for what purpose are we learning it? So that relevance. Now we are trying to look at what has been on board for so many years. It had maybe a purpose during that time. So this time you're saying, what are we focusing on? Let them learn about all of those things as a showcase, but the focus should be on Uganda, East Africa, because majorly 99% of all these lands are going to be in Uganda and in East Africa. So let them learn about other areas in the world as a showcase, as maybe areas of concern. Say, how when you are relating issues, relate what is happening in China with what is, but within a context, not now just
because the global and
not just learning about China, and when you finish your courses, you don't see where it applies, and you wonder why you're wasting the time and the money to study about all those. But now we are trying to say, let us focus on majorly on our issues of African learner.
So, Mr. Mganga, for those of them that are still confused, please paint the picture. I am a senior 5 student. In case this has been passed and is the new curriculum to go for A-level, what does that look like? Because we knew PCB stroke math. Then you changed that and left it with 3 subjects. Now with all these new complications, what would a combination look like?
To the viewers and the people who are going to be taking these A-level courses, normally it is the demand which designs what is studied. So it is a demand-driven curriculum. For what use should we have so many?
By demand, you mean market demand at the time, or you mean demand in terms of how they performed?
Market demand.
Market demand.
Yeah, that's why curricula is revised even after 5 to 10 years, looking at, because we go to the field to ask people and we look at the demands of the country. Then it's not just a matter of having PCB, PCM, it was there for a purpose. Those traditional combinations are going to remain to serve those professions that need them. But there are new areas which have come on board for the last 30 years, whereby you don't need to take all of these.
So let me just make reality of it. So I will be able to still do the PCB.
If you show which, because
so.
because what you want to do with it,
Okay.
it is still there.
So is the occupational subject supposed to be of the 3 or away from the 3?
With and without.
With and without.
It can be within your subject combination, or it can be outside your subject combination.
Okay. And then the contemporary studies, will it be within or without?
Now, it is the within and without, whereby when you are taking, for example, for us we are saying you don't need to take a PCB. You can take a PC, contemporary studies, PB, contemporary studies.
Right.
So you can't take a PCB and a contemporary. Those are 4.
Okay.
You must remain within the
So
3.
you're remaining within the structure.
Because where you are going
whatever
normally,
you're choosing, it's
because
the top of
normally
the 3.
the essential subjects for any course, they are normally 2.
Right.
So the others were just put there to help you to have an option. In case I don't make it here,
Okay.
can I now forge another one?
All right.
So here we are saying, take the 2, which are of your own choice, which are essential, add on contemporary studies.
Okay.
And within these 2, there are so many new combinations that are going to come on board.
So contemporary study is now an option. So it can be PC accounting, it can be PC ICT.
It can be PC, and then you put on contemporary.
Yeah.
Then it can be PM, like that, depending on what course do you want to make
then
use
begs
of.
the challenge, because the challenge I see is there is, and especially upon rolling out, in case it is approved by the Ministry of Education, helping teachers, parents, and in guiding these students, because they would need a lot of career guidance.
Of course.
Which career guidance already presently with what we have on the education market is a challenge. It's a hiccup. It's a gap that has not yet been addressed by anyone.
Okay, we should be having 2 thronged paths of career guidance. The schools, they are using the DOS. That's the director of studies, the deputies in terms of curriculum or timetables. Now, schools should be having their own sessions to talk about all these things with their learners and with their parents, because those are their clients. Now, NCDC has its own path with the Ministry of Education, whereby we go and we do much of what we call school support, or radio talk shows, or publishing leaflets, sending these documents to schools. But because they are normally in English, that means they are for a certain class or a certain group of people to make use of them. So for us, we can't have a session for parents, for what, apart from coming to the maybe talk shows, and with a few means that we have been given, and we try to deliberate on issues that are very controversial or sometimes misunderstood. But majorly, everything should be done at school level, because they have too much time with the parents in terms of parents' meetings, when they are admitting these people for the first time. So they should be maybe inviting some of the NCDC people if they're not very clear with the issues, and we are given a slot.
I wouldn't want to say it should be the case of maybe they should be inviting. Perhaps the center should have that in your proposal, that upon rolling this out, or even before actually rolling it out, you help people intentionally understand.
Yeah, we have our program, which is called the implementation, whereby it is an intentional to tell people what is new.
Okay.
So that one is already in our program. But after talking to them or telling them and showing them what is new, they normally have to go deep to the lower part or the final part, who is the learner and the parent, to interpret. Because when you talk about all these things in a foreign language at school level, and the parent has not understood who is the major sponsor, it doesn't make sense.
Okay. Well, The other question then becomes, what's going to be the interaction between this new curriculum and the university courses that then people have to take on if there's been the distortion of, you know, subjects?
We don't expect much of the disruption, because in the design or the conceptual levels here, we are working hand in hand with the universities, because NCDC by design, the panels, we have constituencies. So universities are part of it. So up to now, we are trying to work with them, relate with them, so that whatever they see going to happen, they go back and also make their own part at the university level, what programs are going to absorb such new learners.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Mganga. In your conclusive remarks?
We are having so much to talk about the new, of the reviews, both of the old and the new, because even the O-level, they have not yet done it perfectly well the way we did it. But we must have a start, and then we keep improving. Now, as these learners in 2 years' time are coming to A-level, they must find a well-designed curriculum which fits in what they have been doing. But to end it all, NCDC is celebrating the 50 years. That means there is a lot which has gone underwater. As when we are from the initiation of 1973, where we are, NCDC has grown bigger, the structure is needed. Now the human resource, we are many, the departments are many. So there's a lot to talk about NCDC, because when we are planning how to look at the Vision 2040, how do we reach there? Okay. We need human resource.
All right. Well, this implementation is expected to take flight 2025, by 2025. And of course, he's talked about assessment of what is presently happening in the O-level curriculum. But the reality of the matter is that it's going to take time, because even if it's a relationship, you start off well, in the middle there you have some conflict, but how do you move forward? How do you work around the conflicts that you find is where the magic is. All right, as we're coming to the close of morning at NTV, we do have some birthdays in the house, and our birthday baby for this morning is none other than Brenda. Happy birthday, Brenda, my next of kin. Ever birthday wishes from your least sister Doreen and your daughter Nova. Just know we love you, and we will love you till the end of the road. Enjoy your day, pal. And this is also from Arnold Seremba, who is also wishing you a happy birthday, Brenda. Okay, on behalf of Chris Igenyi and myself, have yourselves a good day. Until we meet again tomorrow, be safe.